All right, so the essentials. What do you need to know? Who am I? I'm sure many of you have been inundated by emails or phone calls from me over the last little bit. I'm Paul Angelopoulos. Since you're coming to the East Coast, we thought it'd be nice to have it hosted by someone with a strong Cape Breton name, right? Well, it is kind of. When I explain my last name to people, it is kind of like a Mac or a Mick. Because if you know anything about Greeks, poulos means son of. So way back in the day, there's so many of us that I need to start differentiating. So there was somebody named Angelos or Angelo, and they said Poulos, so Angelopoulos, son of Angelo. So I'm a Mac, somehow, some way. Emergency exits. If there is a problem today, you can come out the way you came in. Down the steps, through the front door. If that is for some reason blocked, there's emergency exits on the other side of the hallway, at this end of the hallway. Follow the signage in there and you'll end up outside safely and proceed to the muster point. Facilities. The ladies have it easy. It's just kind of to the right and on this side of the hallway. Gentlemen, you got to work for it all the way at the other end. Take a left and a quick right. Keep yourselves well caffeinated and well hydrated, and we'll keep the conversation going. The tech. You'll see a lot of cameras and lights in the room, and that's intentional. Something that is interesting for us today is the fact that we're webcasting the event. We're well aware of the fact that the federal government works across the country. And we've also heard things about travel restrictions, perhaps fiscal constraint. So in order to facilitate the conversation, we've decided to webcast the event. So if some of you have seen, we've circulated a link so individuals can watch comfortably from their office or their home if they're there. Moreover, we're going to be recording this event, so we'll keep it as a resource or a learning tool going forward. So if there's a component of the agenda that you think is really salient to you, we can slice and dice that and pull that out. At this point, we're still trying to figure out exactly where this will live on the internet or the web, but once that is available, we'll push it out to you. The other thing that we're going to do going forward is circulate any of the conference proceedings or presentations that you see here. So we'll send those along to you. Those folks from Gatineau and Ottawa have also provided French language translations for those materials, so they'll also be available for you. The agenda. For those of you that have seen it, you've probably looked at it and said, what is this all about? We've put together an agenda that is, in our humble opinion, action-packed, energetic, and to the point. The overall tone of the day is about minimizing the cost of workplace injury, right? Through leadership, engagement, and partnerships. Something that I think we can all get better at. But how many times have you gone to a conference and you're like, holy smokes, I just heard so much stuff, I'm still processing it, I really haven't had the time to think about it, I gotta go back to the office. I've been to many conferences like that, and I'm just like, sometime I'll revisit that content and I'll think about how I can use it. So, today we've been intentioned and built in a lot of sync-in time and talk time. So at various points throughout the course of the day, you're going to have an opportunity to talk to your elbow partners and table mates about what you heard, what did you learn, what could you possibly use, and what are you going to do. Because for us, it's not about a one-and-done scenario. It's about what are you going to take back and start doing? What are you going to do differently? As opposed to, thank you for that information in my pocket, on my shelf, forget about it. This is all about action and making your organizations as good as they can be. Now, the changing landscape. Does anybody recognize this gentleman? This guy right here. Our new Prime Minister. Vastly changing federal landscape. We have a group that went from third-party status to majority government. Does anybody know what those numbers are? 68%, 71%. 68% voter turnout nationally. The highest level it's been since 1993. 71% voter turnout in Nova Scotia. Again, highest level it's been in over a decade. So when I think about that, you have a country that is looking for change, a new way. And I think the same thing can be said for our organizations going forward. It's about what can we do? How can we get better? Why does it matter? And I chose this picture because this is what matters to me. You have a father. You have a family. If anybody has seen any of the ads that we have running on the news or the TV today, it's all about what matters most. And often, what matters most is not about work. It's not at work. It's moments like this. So we're looking to make sure that your organizations are as safe as possible so we can enjoy events like this. Does anybody know who this is? Right. And what's her color or political affiliation? Right. She's NDP. NDP government in Alberta. I didn't think we would see that in our lifetime. And what happened the other day? They've also announced a new environmental policy. So you have an NDP government taking on an industry that has largely been left to their own devices. So we have interesting change happening, bold action, something new, something sensational, which is, to me, very encouraging. Does anybody recognize this gentleman? Yes. Where was he? He was here. The Halifax International Securities Forum was here. International stage, talking about how are we going to improve the current securities in the world. So we have an evolving landscape nationally, an evolving landscape internationally, and need to come up with bold new ideas and action. And some of it's happening in Halifax. For example, this forum and this forum here today. So what can we do to keep this conversation going and alive? I think we're going to have a lot of good discussion today. I think I've lost my dongle again. So, what I wanted to do is turn the microphone over to our CEO of the Workers' Compensation Board. He's going to talk to you a little bit about kind of the tagline for the day: leadership, engagement, and partnerships. Sound good? Okay. Stuart McLean.